Welcome to Star Citizen and an outlook for the year 2021. We take a look at what game mechanics, locations and environments and core technologies are coming our way. The basis for this is the new roadmap. We have gone through it for you and picked out the most interesting and also most important features, which I would like to present you in this video. One thing in advance, new ships that we expect in 2021, we will cover in a separate video, so in a second part, because we focus today, as I said, only on new game mechanics, locations and environments, and as for core mechanics. So basic technologies such as the iCache system or server meshing. Furthermore, we won't go through the roadmap chronologically one by one, as some features are less interesting than others. And this is a rough timeline. So you can always expect a week or two of development time or post-pronouncements or even deletions. The new roadmap has several views. We are here in the release view. That means for the next coming patch, that is here the 3.13, which should be released at the beginning of the year 2021. Here are the features listed, which should probably come with the 3.13 into the game, and we have here a small overview. However, there is of course another view that covers the whole year or already the next year in part. And especially in this area there were some announcements and features with which most probably had not yet expected. All in all, it must be said there is more in the roadmap that is on the plan of the developers that we would have expected. And if you want to take a closer look at the whole thing yourself, we have the different teams here and then also the areas in which they work, how much work is in it and for which areas the whole thing is, that is for the persistent universe or also for Squadron 42. But let's take a look at some features that are in the works at least this year. Whether they will be still released in 2021 or due to some postponements will only be released in 2022, that is still up in the air. One of the most interesting topics for me is the salvaging team, that is, the possibility to scrap items and materials, as this would create a completely new gameplay loop. They were have this year with the salvaging tier 1, so with the basic requirements to recon. The complete system will only come in 2022, but probably we can already collect this year with the multi-tool or crush things or then remove individual parts, that is components from shipwrecks, sell them and recycle. The caves and cave entrances will also be expanded. These will be made accessible for vehicles such as the Ursa rover or the Rock, and then also with sinkholes. These are entrances that can only be entered with smaller ships, which means we will have to do a small expedition here and advance into the new cave systems. Here I assume that there will be more materials like hedanite or similar lucrative materials to find, so that the trip to hell will be worthwhile. Here we can also work in a team and use the item system with the Rock, for example, to have a deposit. Definitely one of the more exciting mechanics to come. Not a new element, but an expansion is the update of the force reaction, which means forces that affect our character or our ship. Here we have, among other things, when we are traveling with the ship and walk through the hold, the possibility to be shaken back and forth or to run slowed down. Even weapons have effects that we, for example, hit by a larger caliber, simply fall down and then have to pick ourselves up again. And exactly this system is extended and adapted again, that is step by step we come to so realistic physics, which we then also add the possible this to use in the game. Complete new will be the expansion in the area of missiles and torpedoes. Here we get an operator mode, which is then available depending on the ship. We have here a station, as for example in the Retaliator or also in the Harbinger, where we have our own missile station. Here we can position a player, who then selects the respective missiles, make them available and directs them. How the system looks in detail and whether the operator here has also access to the control of the missiles is not yet known. However, the system promises to be a very good expansion in the area of missiles and torpedoes. Also new is the possibility to name ships and also to customize the serial number. Already some ship had this feature included with the purchase, and in a modified or slightly weakened form this will probably go for all other ships as well. How the whole thing looks at what restrictions we have here, that remains to be seen, but I assume that there will not be countless Mercury Starrunners with the name Millennium Falcon or masses of constellations with the name USS Enterprise. Whether the feature is not only purchasable via Pledge Store or also via in-game currency has also not yet been revealed. And also in the area of the ships is the optics. This changes depending on how long we have been traveling with the ship and what is all experienced. So scratches, dents, stains, everything is visible on the ship, depending on how long we have been flying through the verse. The whole thing creates in any case a bit more immersion. Also new or rather expanded is the hacking. We already have the mechanics now if we want to hack our crimes that way, so remove and then the whole thing will be expanded again. Whether also ships that have e-warfare capabilities, so electronic warfare such as a Vanguard Sentinel, to penetrate here then into the enemy ship systems or other stations, remains to be seen. And I also hope that hacking it won't end up as a pointless minigame, but so far we've had relatively little of that, so I expect it to be a useful extension and renewal of the mechanics, and perhaps offer us completely new possibilities. There is also news in the docking area. First of all, the docking of the Constellation series with the Snubfighter, which comes directly with the ship. This system will then also find its way into other areas and at least with ship-to-station docking. With the docking of large ships to space stations, the system will be complete for the time being. However, it is not yet known when this will be the case, but I assume that it will not until 2022. And the system will be really useful when we can use the refinery decks or the cargo decks directly. Dock with our cargo ship at the cargo decks or land with our mining ship directly at the refinery station or dock here. Also the prison system, so everything that has to do with Clasher will be brought to version 3. The challenge to escape from Clasher will be bigger and also NPCs will play a role. If these are guards or even creatures lurking in the corridors, which will also appear soon, that remains to be seen. In any case, the challenge will be bigger and the very own game mechanics of Clasher will be further expanded. And also the reputation system as well as the multi-crew system hold some innovations ready. Namely, we can assign roles here, that is, for our orc colleagues, we can divide them into roles, and in that area of multi-crew, we can determine which crew member has which permissions in the ship. For example, on large ships, we can thus give new or foreign crew members first only access to the weapon towers or perhaps only for the kitchen. Also more in-game perks for the known organizations such as the Bounty Hunter Guild come, which then gives us more advantages or disadvantages. The system is also for independent organizations or for other institutions and associations come. And this is especially for organizations or players who like to travel in the multi-crew, a meaningful innovation, because so the immersion increases and not everyone can really do everything on one ship. And also in this area fits the new law system version 2, so the law basics. Here we can then, before we are sent directly from the UEE into Nirvana, simply give up and so come alive to Clasher and prevent the destruction of our ship and a loss of the cargo. This is another building block for the Bounty Hunter system, or then also for the entire Dead of a Spaceman mechanics, which however first still needs a complete medical gameplay and basic mechanics such iCache and server meshing. Until then, giving up will probably only save some costs. A real highlight on the roadmap is the small outposts that can be built. That is, we have smaller bases that we can create, and here the first smaller opportunities to also determine the interior and exterior. This will most likely have a similar dimension as the currently existing shelters we find on some moons. More than a shelter or a point to log in or out, similar to the ship beds, as well as a storage possibility for some equipment we should not expect at first. In any case, this is the beginning of real player bases and outposts, with everything we already known as well for future exciting expansions. And directly related to this is the dynamic environment, which means the physicalization of all objects and items that so far are just ornaments or objects that we can see but not touch. This will be necessary so that we can then also build a base. Presumably, we will then able to use the tractor beam to pick them up and also place them accordingly. And also the optics of the outpost will differ significantly. This will also be adapted for already existing ones, so we will recognize right away if it is a military outpost, if there are scientists at work here, or it is a mining. Abandoned posts will also be visually changed again, so that we can see that no one has been here for a long time. And as the last point in this area, there will be different modules so that we can spawn more vehicles on the ground. As we've seen in the second part, that is in the area of vehicles and ships, there will also be new ground vehicles. Because they have to come from somewhere, and for vehicles there's even a task where water vehicles are mentioned, so we'll probably be able to be in the verse with boats at some point. Whether that also applies to the persistent universe or only to the Squadron 42 expansion, that's still absolutely unclear to us. However, with the 890 jump we would then already have both. There are also some innovations concerning modularity. The Retaliator will be the first ship whose modularity can be used. Currently it is only available as a heavy bomber, but it will then be possible to equip it with several modules. That means from a cargo module to a dropship module to VIP transport, the modularity will first be expanded with the Retaliator. We will then be able to purchase these modules either in the pledge store or in-game. More ships will follow, and the whole thing will actually be available for almost all ships that offer modularity. But the biggest innovations come at the end, namely the Pyro star system is on the roadmap 2021. And here we are talking about a complete system, that is, with all planets, outposts, bases and everything that goes with it. New missions, new content, and that completely in one system as a big package. Pyro is the first of a total of 3, or actually 4 systems that will be released soon. Pyro is a system whose sun is already in a dying process, and we have to fight here with significant environmental hazards even in space. Solar flares and radiation make functioning shields necessary to prevent damage. Also, Pyro is not under the control of the UEE, which offers pirates and outlaws all possibilities. Also, here's the ruined station in the area of around Pyro 6, which is the old Gold Horizon mining station and the headquarters of the Xenothreat pirate organization, which is already threatening the Stanton system and will start very soon with an in-game event. And this event promises to be a real firework of effects and a completely new experience. This is where Star Citizen shows what we can look forward to. Pyro is a strong contrast to Stanton. And this is the dark side, so to speak. The space stations here will be smaller, run down and burn out, and also the services offers will be worse. It will be less, and you should not expect to be able to walk in here big or find a nice burrito stand. And since the core mechanics of server meshing are the prerequisite for the Pyro system, we won't see until mid-2022 at the earliest, since Star Citizen will then go into version 4. But as mentioned, Pyro will not remain the only system. The Nyx system, which is there connected to Pyro, so with the Stanton system forms a triple chain, will also be implemented very soon. This is then also the hauling, so the movement of larger amounts of cargo with the appropriated ships and mechanics possible, which cannot land on planets. We already have the docking mechanics that comes before. And a small foretaste of the Nyx systems we already have now. Namely the planet of Levski. This is actually in the Nyx system, and it is moved with the appearance of Nyx also directly there. It is then no longer in the Stanton system. Nyx is otherwise a relatively badly habitateless system, with 3 planets where, for example, also a large ice giant will be to be seen. Here we have probably then very many derelict sites, just crashed ships which we can look for, large heights, and it will be settled rather like Levski in the range of mining and the trade. Also in this area falls the Aikido Cluster, where we find new, better and larger asteroids would be very lucrative, but because of the location also very dangerous. Also come here other asteroids, and in this context there is still a revision of the current asteroids. These get a new look and are upgraded again. And also the Aran Halo asteroid belt, so the asteroid belt will get a large gateway to jump directly to. This huge asteroid station will definitely visually worth seeing, and what we can do with it remains to be seen. And the fourth system, which is to come, has not been named yet. However, this one hangs directly in the chain of Stanton, Nyx and Pyro, and we might have the first contacts with unfriendly aliens here. But also for the Stanton system there are some improvements and innovations. Namely, Crusader gets with Artisan finally the Cloud City with landing zone. That means in version 1 we get a spaceport and the shipyard of Crusader Industries. With version 2 that comes later, then again more content and an expansion of the city and some improvements. So similar to how it was with the implementation of New Babbage on Microtech. And with the Stanton Polish version 2 will be again all planets and moons that had not yet been revised to the last stand brought, as well as stations and regions, so everything will be more beautiful. And so that you can travel to the different systems, of course the jump points are still missing, the big jump gates then connect the systems with each other. These will be available in different sizes, so depending on the ship we need a different jump point to get to Nyx or Pyro. Here we don't just click on a button like in EVE Online and we jump there, no, we have to actively navigate ourselves through the jump points, so through the tunnel. And for this, of course, environments like the Cloud Tag, that is for the mists that are around these jump points are necessary. And the cloud technology is of course also necessary for Crusader, so Horizon as the capital of Crusader. And above all innovations as well as all work is of course always the iCache system, the persistence legacy and of course the server meshing. These core technologies are necessary for most features and here of course will continue to work in 2021. I hope you liked the video and leave me a like and a subscribe. The year 2021 is definitely one of the better years for Star Citizen. Many features will find their way into the game, and the whole thing looks very good in any case. And so far, that means in 2020, CIG has already delivered a lot. So I'm confident that we will see some of the new features accordingly. However, as usual, who has been dealing with Star Citizen for a while knows. Postponements are part of the daily business and I assume that not all features will really appear in time or on schedule. And to these topics I would be interested in your comments and opinions. Just write me, I try to answer everything. Of course there's also a current giveaway for January and that is a Titan Avenger. For this you just have to be a visible subscriber of the channel, leave a like and leave a comment under one of the videos. The giveaway will take place via Discord, check it out! And the most important thing at the end, a big thank you to all Patreons and channel members. Without you the whole thing would not be possible. Thank you for that and you guys rock. I say goodbye until next time and say as always, see you in the verse.